Yeah, I feel like that's really gonna like.
The sound of construction.
Yeah,
Because we're back in the greatest city ever, New York City.
I mean, compared to what? Other cities
compared
that
to
you've
every
been to.
other city.
Oh, look, they
Oh, look,
like
they
turn it off.
stop. Look, I've been to Miami, I've been to LA, I've been to Boston, I've been to a lot of cities in America, and I'm gonna say New York City still the best city. You know?
No, I don't. I don't at all.
Better than DC. Oh.
Watch your fucking mouth. Don't you mute DC, okay?
Oh, okay. What do you
With your
got?
gentrification.
We're gonna fight about it.
Are
we gonna fight like the 2K League?
Dude, my only question is why was Golf Digest commenting on that?
I think it's because it's like the first. It's like the first kind of not first, but I think it's like now that like esports and stuff is kind of
no. You're diving into it. I just need to know. Okay, before like you're gonna dive into. I just wanted to know why Golf Digest was commenting on it. But before we dive into that,
because
right?
there's somebody in the editor room who's like, guys, what if we broke news on this shit, guys? And then everybody's like,
do it, publish it. Make sure you put that hyphen between the E and the sports,
and then put the hyphen between the real and the sports.
All right, so before we dive deep into that, right? Welcome back to Good Game Do Us Part.
Hello.
We are back from PAX East. How was your PAX East, sir? Even though I was there with you.
I mean, we were essentially recording and like running around and having like pretty fun guests. Shout out to all our guests that were on there.
Was it nerve-wracking for you? Well, not nerve-wracking, but like, were you like nervous and hesitant? I mean, people can probably tell from our interviews that we might have been, but for you personally, did you feel like, oh fuck, I'm actually really nervous?
I think the first interview, actually the first kind of episode we did for PAX East was with Shadosha, and at first I was like, oh fuck, every episode I have to interview and I have to be real, and then like after about 20 minutes of talking, I was just like, I'm just gonna be as calm as possible. And then I think every other guest was kind of pretty chill, and I think every other guest was like really down to just kind of like have a very casual interview-ish style.
Yeah.
Instead of like it being like this like upfront like, all right, hey, what's up, guys? You know, we weren't like anything of like, they knew we were like trying to be interviewish but like more casual, so they kind of kept it light and casual as well, which I really appreciated. So shout out to all our guests for that.
Yeah. My biggest thing, I guess we can like critique ourselves a little bit. My biggest thing is like, or was when I was going back and editing, I want to dive more into like the people's background. I felt like we kept it casual enough, but we didn't
deep dive enough.
Yeah, we didn't deep dive enough into people's like past or certain things that they might have commented on. But I mean, it was our first set of interviews, so I'm happy with what we got and look forward to improving.
Yeah, I think it was a good start. I think we had a really good start, and I think we can only go up from here.
That's not true. Wait, can you go below where you started?
I mean, you can.
But technically, wouldn't where you started be rock bottom?
I mean, if you have like a good foundation, if you have a good background, and you're starting from that foundation, you can break your foundation. Your whole foundation can get fucked up if that makes any sense.
You guys probably hear construction in the back. Yeah, that's New York.
Welcome to New York City, greatest city ever.
But yeah, let's dive back into.
We don't want to talk about how the rest
sports.
of our PAX East was, especially how whack parties were. I wanted to wait because it's been about a week since we came back from PAX. Maybe a little longer than a week, actually.
Yeah, it's been a week. It was the end of last weekend of March, so it's been a full weekend or a full week.
Yeah, because we didn't record last weekend. I wanted to get into the idea, like, I wanted to just wait like a weekend to like let it simmer and see if like maybe we were being too harsh.
No.
Like maybe we were being too much of jerks.
No.
Because our Twitters from like
No,
Fridays,
it was trash.
We were just like, we were shitting on it.
No, because it hasn't, still to this very moment, I'm like, yeah, that was shit music, and just, it wasn't a shit party. It was just not a party.
It wasn't a party.
Like,
I'm tired, and it's not just PAX East. It's like, I think it's all cons in general.
Yeah.
They all say like, oh, come to our after party, and then you go and it's not an after party.
If I had to guess one that does it slightly better, but like the turnouts, I guess aren't as great, is like kind of DreamHack. Like, it's still the music is slightly better depending on who's there. But they put more of an aspect of it's a party, not like a gathering giveaway type of thing. I don't know. The parties at PAX were just really weird.
Well, they were some of them were very gimmicky, like, hey, like, oh my god, like, come here and maybe you could win a thing. Maybe you could play against professional esports people. Whoa, no way.
Yeah.
It was very gimmicky. I think that's what it was. I think the only party that wasn't, which we ended up not going to, even though we probably could have gone, was the Elgato party, which as usual was at Howl at the Moon. Which I don't know why Elgato really likes Howl at the Moon. It's just like a bar, and it's funny because the past 3 years I've gone, you never go. You usually go back home. I just realized that. Tori's just like,
what do you want me to do, man? What do you want me to do? Yeah, that's our PAX review. The parties were kind of trash, music-wise. Yeah, I mean, the event itself was great. We got to walk around, see a bunch of people that we know.
Yeah,
that was awesome as always.
Interviews and stuff, which was great.
But yeah, that was PAX in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we're there again next year or maybe PAX West. Who knows?
I would love to go to PAX West. That'd be great.
Well, let's get back into Sports according to Golf Digest.
Oh, no.
Fight. Technically, it's not really a fight, is it? Because, like, well, we couldn't see because they cut the broadcast.
Yeah.
Did you see the camera guy, though?
No.
Dude, you gotta watch the freaking camera dude. That's like, watch, like, when, after you push him, watch the camera guy, like, right here.
Oh no.
Right here. he pushes the player and is like, no, I gotta get this. But then it immediately cuts.
He's like, I gotta get the drama. But
it wasn't really a fight. Again, it cuts so you can't see. But from what is shown in the video, it's more like a brief scuffle because like one guy puts his hand out to shake his hand. I think his name is Talon. Oh no, Hawk's Talon is the name of the org. I think it was OFAB or something that one of the guys puts out his hand to shake it, the other guy's hand, and I guess the other guy doesn't see it or doesn't know what he's doing, so he like kind of walked past him, and then he realizes like, oh, like we didn't shake hands, but instead of saying like, yo, what's up, he immediately just pushes him, and then the other dude's like, from the Hawks are like, yo, what the fuck?
I'm just trying to shake your hand, bro.
Yeah, and then they start yelling. Like there's never a fist thrown in the video. Like you don't see any actual like altercation outside of the push, and then everyone's like, it's a fight. No, it was more like a scuffle.
It was more like a dude forgot to handshake somebody and then like didn't want to look like a fucking clown, so he was just like he was throwing at me. And I think it's just great because also and as I'm reading Bleacher Report's tweet where it's like opening day of a 2K league and there's already beef brewing. Like you can't just be like, oh, there's beef brewing. Like, oh man, no way, controversial. Like, all right, relax. This has happened before in esports. Guys have like yelled at each other and shoved each other at like Halo invitationals.
But that's because
like,
people don't watch Halo Gears in like FGC. Like
that's
those
true.
are the only. I won't say they're the only ones that you see it, but you're more likely to see aggression.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in FGC. People roast the shit at each other.
Yeah,
like come at people in very in very like precise ways too. Like they never like take it off topic. They cut through what they want to.
I will say in regards to this, I don't mind it being somewhat physical, as like only with the push. Like I'm glad that no one was hurt. Mm-hmm. There was no punches thrown, but I'm okay with the shove that occurred because it's kind of like it shows personality. You disrespecting someone by already not shaking their hand. So it's like, even though the guy whose hands didn't get shook, who avoided the handshake, was the one initiating the push. Yeah. That was really weird. But like you see it in soccer where like, I think it was Patrice Evra. He didn't want to shake someone's hand or someone didn't want to shake his hand. And he literally grabbed the guy's hand and was like, no, you're going to shake my fucking hand. And then like that had an altercation. But I'm like, this, I don't like, again, it depends on the situation, you know. And again, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you shouldn't put your hands on other people." When you're this passionate and you have like rivalries and things like this, stuff like this can occur. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not preventable, but things like this can occur.
No, I think the like healthy quote unquote beef is healthy. I think it's I think it's necessary, and it's especially if you're trying to create a Like, if you're trying to create a brand, I
Yeah.
think you need like a little spice. I think you need something to keep people hooked. Like, yes,
because it creates the personality for the not only the players but orgs.
I mean, it's like quote unquote real / sports or real dash sports.
That was those hyphens, man.
Hyphen, whatever, fucking. It's the same token where it's like, yo, fucking that dude said that, whatever. Oh shit! I really hope they come and prove it. They've been trash talking each other. Oh, they're gonna prove it on the field, and it's like that's the same thing here. It's like, oh shit, like he said some shit, blah blah blah. He shoved him, whatever. Okay, like they're really gonna like solve their like squash it like in game.
Yeah. Well. So apparently, with three of the players were reprimanded.
Somebody got suspended, right?
I think one player got a suspension for one game and fined for $500.
Yeah.
Another player got 1 game suspension. I think the player that got the 1 game suspension was from the Hawks.
So.
And then Mello East, who is on Celtics crossover, he got fined $500 for kind of like instigating. But he also put out an apology on Twitter saying like, hey, I'm sorry for what I did. I shouldn't have escalated the situation. There's other ways that it could have been handled. I was just looking out for like having my teammates back, but I realized that like I should have, handled it differently and all this other stuff. But I'm like, first of all, that's your teammate. You should have his back.
Yeah.
Like if someone's about to throw hands at your teammate, you should be one of the first people to step up. Whether your teammate can defend himself or not, you should be able to step up and be like, "Yo, timeout! Like this is my teammate. Like you're not about to just."
Like you have to learn to you have to because if you also want to because you're not like if you want to be more than just a bunch of guys who are just kit bashed together, you have to like form this bond and you have to be able to like and step up and be like, "Yo, don't fuck with my teammate. Don't do any like." I don't think he did anything necessarily wrong with that. You brought up the 2K League contract. Why do they have the 76ers colors?
What are you talking about? Oh, for the thing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically it's the NBA logo colors, but they don't have the player in the middle to separate the white. It's white lines creating a basketball image. But yeah, so this happened last night or something, so I'm not familiar with all the players from 2K, so that's why I didn't know their names. Sorry about that, guys, but it appears that it was OFAB, that boy Shots. Yeah. And I'm familiar with Mel East, or I think he used to go by Mello East, but that's because I met him at PAX East like 2 years ago. And this is when the 2K League was, I think it was still in his first year, and got to hang out with him at the Celtics game, meet some of the owners from the team and all this other stuff. But yeah, like he got fined, put out his apology, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Again, if there wasn't anything physical that occurred, I wouldn't have minded. If there was still like, trash talk or like they were just getting each other's face, I wouldn't have minded. I think the biggest thing is that he did shove him, which a shove in my opinion is not that bad, but the fact that because it was physical and it can lead to other things, that's where I gotta like be like, okay, he did draw the line because he touched him. But again, if you're not gonna shake someone's hand and then you initiate the shove, I think that's backwards.
That is a little weird.
That's backwards aggression. Like,
yeah, that is weird. It's like how dare you
not touch my hand?
How dare you not touch my hand?
Yeah, because like when you see it, the guy who has his hand extended, when he gets shoved, he's like, did he really just push me? And then it turns into like the whole like, all right, yeah, we gotta throw hands. But again, you don't see them throw hands because the camera cuts.
Because they're so like, oh god, we can't show that shit. Like everyone's so like.
Meanwhile, the NBA showed Malice at the Palace when freaking Ron Artest is going crazy, throwing chairs at people.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, oh, we got to protect like the NBA 2K League. It's like, what about the NBA where you had kids watching like players wreck fans? Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like we're trying to like be so PC in esports at times that it's like show them, fucking show them, let them have at it. Guess what? It's not gonna go anywhere. Like
somebody was
it'll eventually get broken up and then you can cut. And then you do that for every single.
Even in hockey, it's like, yo, we gotta show them.
You let people throw hands in hockey.
The funny thing someone said on Twitter was like, yo, they like act like they're gonna fight all these players got like gyms at their team houses, but none of them use it, so it don't even matter. And I was like, it's right to some extent, but
that's problematic.
But just because you work out doesn't mean you can fight. I think that's the thing that people get.
Oh no, absolutely. I think it's like, you ever seen a dude who like just goes to the gym strictly fight? You know what he does, right?
Upper body.
He just goes for a tackle.
No, that's me, dude. I'm getting you to the ground and then we're gonna fight. Like
no, that's what they always do. They go for the tackle and then they just like they throw like half-hearted like punches and shit and like they're just like essentially slapping somebody.
See, my thing is because I have a fear of getting knocked out, I want to get a person to the ground and then try to choke them out because like I just don't want to get knocked out. It's really weird, but it's like I just don't want to get knocked out.
True,
like,
you know that's like the point of a fight, right? To not get knocked out.
No, I thought the point you said to not get knocked out.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the point of a fight was to prove your point. It's like, yo, if I hit you hard enough and you lose or like you fall over, then it's over. I win. But I just don't want to be the guy that get hit and goes to sleep.
Falls over and loses.
Well, no, not just like if you hit me and I fall, I'm getting back up. I don't want to get hit and now I'm asleep and I have no idea what's going on around me. Fuck that. You're not. That's a fear of mine. Like I do not want to get knocked. Something we need to cover though from last week. Yeah, that we didn't cover at PAX East episode is Apple Arcadia or Apple Arcade. I just mixed Google Stadia with Apple Arcade and that's really
I'm just gonna let it be.
Yeah, that was weird. But pretty much Apple Arcade is Apple's releasing indie mobile games through a subscription based platform. My biggest issue with it is how can you be indie if you're backed by Apple?
I think you can.
How?
I think it's like
Apple's essentially the publisher. Like you can't like.
Yeah, but Apple isn't doing the work. They're just kind of like giving you a little bit of like.
No, they're giving you a lot of money.
Well, they're giving you a road. They're giving you a road to go down, but you're not. It's not like Apple's like, all right, we developed this whole game, we did this thing, but like we just gave you the road for it. We gave you like a platform to be on. You still the indie companies still like did the majority of the work. Like not even the majority, they did all the work for it. So, and then Apple was just like, all right, here you go. It's like Steam. It's like you could still have an indie game on Steam, and Steam is this big company. Valve is a big company, and it's just like, hey, all right, we didn't do any of the fucking work. So, but like, hey, you could put it on Steam and people can fucking download it and you can make money. Congrats.
See, I looked at it in the way that Joe Budden looked at the music thing with Chance when he partnered with Apple.
Yeah.
Because I look at Apple as a large platform when it comes to distributing and publishing music, right? So if let's say one of our big AAA, EA, ZeniMax or Ubisoft, what if one of the publishers were like, we want to take a smaller company, but instead of bringing them under our umbrella, we want to publish their game. You really wouldn't call that game indie. And I feel like Apple is at that stature of just a major like distributor of content that like I guess you could still be an indie. I don't know. It's hard to call it an indie game when it's backed by such a large.
Think about it this way. Think about there are like a bunch of like I need to because how there are a bunch of games already on the Apple like market.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of games and they were considered indie games. They're considered indie games on PC, on whatever, on Xbox, on PS4, whatever, and you download them and you play them. But then they make their way to like the iPhone or the iPad. Does that make them no longer an indie game? Or are they still an indie game? Are you like, oh, now it's a big game because it's on Apple, because it's on Xbox?
It's not because it's on an Apple platform. I think it's because Apple is providing funding for it. Mm. That's where I look at it. It's where it's when Apple is providing you funding, it's hard to say that you're indie because you're being backed by a machine. It's not like if we were making a game and we went to David and was like, David, we want to put this on Raw Fury, we want Raw Fury to help us publish this game. Can you help us do it? Like Raw Fury is smaller compared to Apple versus where Apple is like, we have all these algorithms, we have all this money, we're gonna put this shit together, boom, and then it's gonna sell. True. The studio can still be indie, but I feel like that whatever game that is being published by that studio, developed by that studio but published by Apple cannot be considered indie because it's literally being pushed by a marketing machine. if that makes sense. I understand where you're coming from,
and
as
I
well.
can see where you're coming from. But
So do we agree to disagree?
we agree to disagree.
Okay.
I mean, what do you guys think? Let us know, because I personally think that it could still be an indie game even though it's backed by Apple.
And you know where they can let us know? At Till GG Do Us Part on Twitter.
Hey, that was a plug.
Hey, and we have a Facebook page now. I just made that like yesterday.
I know you made me moderator, editor, administrator, something. I'm something on the Facebook page.
Well, you can find us on Facebook as well at Till GG Do Us Part, because consistency is key when it comes to your branding. Yeah.
All right, listen.
I think I got that from a book or something.
How high am I up? Can I jump out the window now?
No, you might crack an ankle or break an ankle.
Just crack an ankle.
Yeah. So on from Apple and them trying to be a big publisher indie. Why are people so aggressive with horns in New York? Like, isn't it illegal to blow your horn in New York?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like against the law.
I don't know, because I don't have a car. Who has a car in New York City?
You have a car. You just don't navigate it.
It's in like storage in like a different part of New York. That's why.
Wow, weird flex, but okay. So let's get into a little bit of Call of Duty talk.
Which this entire topic I have no idea about, actually. So you're gonna have to walk me through this one.
Let me walk you through it from the best that I know.
Real
I'll
quick,
put the article as well.
Real quick, guys. Troy just did the weirdest like stretch for it. He just like twisted his arms and he was like,
What's
"Let's go."
that like weird dance that everyone? Whoa, that thingy. I don't know what it's
Oh
called.
yeah, it's on like Twitter and it's like it took me months to master it, and then they walk away from their iPhone and then just go.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, go for it.
So apparently, Red Reserve, which is a team or an org that's in the Call of Duty World League at the moment, they've been having a lot of turmoil, and apparently their owners were like, "Yo, y'all got to get out the house." So they have a team house in Vegas. And apparently, so like two of the players were like, went to free agency. Then apparently they had beef. Like they just were like not in agreement with each other. I don't know if that had anything to do with them parting ways from the organization, or if it was the other behind the scenes stuff that ended up leading to them, becoming free agency, and then they just had whatever their differences was on the team. But yeah, the Red Reserve like owner was just like, "Yo, y'all gotta leave the house." And they're like, "What do you mean we have to leave the house?" Like, "Yeah, we can't afford to pay for the house. You guys got to get out." And they're like, "Do you guys not realize, like, one, we have a bunch of equipment in here. Like, what do you want us to do with it? And some of this probably might be mine. So where am I supposed to put my stuff?" But apparently the owners also owed each of the players and some of the staff, but each of the players, nearly $40,000 from like prize money. So like, not only do you owe me money, but you're also asking me to leave the place that I'm staying at because you can't afford to pay it.
That is so problematic.
And apparently it was before like all this occurred, there had been staff that had been leaving the organization just because like either they weren't getting paid or like, just shady stuff was going on, and they're like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm peacing out."
Didn't we have I feel like we had a conversation, it might have been off the podcast, about a team that like they like couldn't provide for somebody. It wasn't like a player, it was for like somebody on staff to work to like just live in the player house, and then like randomly they were like, "Oh, you're fired."
I think we did have this talk off air, but I think it was in regards to something else. I think we were talking about it in the car when we were in Boston, but I think it was something completely.
No, but it wasn't about this. It was like kind of a similar circumstance where they were like, not similar circumstances where like there was like controversial stuff. It was just like, "Hey, you work and you live in this house," and then suddenly it was like, "Hey, you need to move out the house because we can't afford to pay you and we can't afford to pay this house." Yeah. Which again, I think is something that's happening a lot more frequently, because I think all this money that you're putting into these teams and stuff like that, and all this stuff, and being like, "Hey, we're going to provide this entire experience for you so you don't really got to worry about anything," is bleeding people dry.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening. And I think it goes back to the idea of you saying like team houses shouldn't be a thing. And at this point, I don't think it should. I think you should have separate facilities. And I think also if you're going to put all this money for them to live in one house together, just give them a salary so that they can just buy an apartment or live in an apartment. Yeah. Just be like, "Hey, listen, it needs to be within a 30-mile radius of blah, blah, blah. Like you need to still come to practice at the facility and stuff like that." And that's it.
Yeah.
You know, like Genji, like, and I think it's wild. Genji does that. Genji has like they just bought a whole apartment complex.
That's what they should do.
And then they were just like, go live here.
Yeah.
You come to the Genji building, like all their teams, their PUBG team, their Overwatch League team, which is just Seoul Dynasty, like all those teams just travel. They just like hop an Uber or whatever, and they come to the facility and they do the training, and then they go home.
Yeah. I think either the only issue with orgs kind of owning like an apartment building in a sense is the fact that, again, if something were to happen or if there's something shady going on with that org and they'd be like, okay, well, we can't afford to pay. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily affect the people that are living there. Like, it'll probably just get sold off and then it'll be like, okay, you guys pay these people now, not us, right? I think orgs should talk to apartment or some type of housing organization and see, hey, we have backing. Fucking New York. See, we have all this backing from, you know, Dan Gilbert, Robert Kraft, like all these big names and people with money. Say, hey, is it possible for us to cut some type of deal for our players if they live here, they pay this amount in rent, or they, you know, part of their salary goes to you guys as covering their rent. So that way, if something were to happen with the org, the player is not necessarily forced to move out of the team house and then not have somewhere to go.
Yeah, and I think also if they it could be also like, hey, let's just say they get cut from the team or they don't want to play anymore and they end up being like full-time streamers or something like that. They can still have an income and they could still like they could maybe talk to the apartment complex, be, hey, listen, I don't play for this team anymore. Like, do you want to raise my rent? Do you want to like whatever? Like, I can still try to pay it and blah blah blah. And if it doesn't work out, you get evicted on your own stead. You don't get evicted because somebody can't pay you one way. And I think that's the biggest thing is that you have these esports organizations asking like 18, 19-year-olds to be like, hey, I want you to be an adult and like move out of your house, come be a professional player, do this, blah, blah, blah. But also we're fronting everything and we're doing everything for you. Like if you're going to, the biggest problem is that with esports is, and I think this is it's just treating your players like adults.
Yeah.
Don't treat them like kids that you're babysitting. You're asking them to be professional players, deal with stress constantly, deal with interacting with fans that could be very ravenous or could be very crazy and like problematic to you. Asking them not to get into controversies, but also like babying them when it comes to certain things. Let them be kind of adults. Let them handle taxes. Let them handle paying bills. Let them handle like food shopping. Like I get that it's like, oh, I want my player to be focused only on gaming. But when you force somebody to focus only on gaming, they're gonna fuck up everything else, and then you're gonna eventually be like, oh, we can't have you here.
Yeah. We don't know how you're gonna fend outside of this, but you can't be here anymore. And it's like, good luck. And it's like, and I think that's something that Rob made a good point on when he was talking. He's like, he's signing kids. He understands like these are kids. Like they're not people that have experience. They might not have necessarily experienced the world. So in a sense, he doesn't want to just like throw, like, you know, bring them in, baby them and throw them out to the wolves. Like you're literally taking people's life. It's almost like, I won't say prison, but you're literally taking someone while they're still developing as a person and a human and an understanding of the world, and then being like, no, don't worry about this, I'll take care of it. And then when they're 24, 25 and they can't play, or they just had too much stuff going on from bouncing from org to org, they're now stuck in a situation where it's like, I don't know how to do any of this.
Yeah.
I don't have people skills. I don't have any type of skill outside of the gaming thing. Some people get lucky and they get gigs at game studios or just
I mean, there are some people get like a lot of the Overwatch League players that ended up retiring or like ended up being like, I can't play professional anymore, I can't do this. They end up becoming like full-time streamers and they stream under that team's brand.
Yeah.
Which is like it's a lot of these teams be like, hey, listen, I know you're not going to be a player anymore, or we underutilize you like they did with Mendo for the Houston Outlaws, but he's like, how about you just like stream under our name for Outlaws, and then just like you'll still get like a payment and you still have your streaming stuff, but like you're a little bit more independent, but you have some backing from us and you could be that. And I think that's great. I think we should start doing that more for regular esports players, for professional players. Like let them be adults or let them grow up or show them the way how to grow up.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, we're going to do everything for you and then just like when we're done with you, kick you out. Because that's what happens. And I think that's a really fucked up situation for that to happen for Red Reserve.
Yeah.
And the thing is like no one's gonna really say anything. They're just gonna get new players. They're gonna put them in that, and that's it. Like,
Well, it seems to be a bit more like it actually seems a lot to the point where the team may be where it's going to come down to where the org is disbanded if it hasn't already. I didn't really follow up outside of that story. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
But with that team that essentially almost on the verge of disbanding, that put FaZe in a position to where they could potentially buy themselves back into the Call of Duty World League. I think it was like $50,000 that they were asking for their spot. For me, when I was reading through that, it was really weird to see FaZe like. Not weird to see them want to get back into Call of Duty, but not seeing them as an org that is literally that started from the ground up of Call of Duty to not already be in that World League.
How many other teams does FaZe have right now?
For you mean across all their esports?
Yeah.
I'm assuming they have their Call of Duty team is on like a reserve or playing like more grassroots stuff. They have PUBG.
Yeah.
Why am I guessing? Let's just pull it up.
Yeah, because I feel like I honestly feel like maybe it's because they were just focusing on other venues.
Say it. They were focusing on their clothing brand.
Yes, I was gonna say they were like maybe like because I know they're like they have a Counter-Strike team, they have a PUBG team, and they fucking have a fucking clothing. Stop! I didn't even know they did they're doing a collaboration with Champion. Why is Champion so on that, by the way?
Because Champion is Hypebeast now, and
because I remember Champion.
No disrespect to the people that I love who work at FaZe, but FaZe is literally Hypebeast fuckboys. I'm not sorry to say it, but that's essentially the perception that they give off. Not saying they don't hustle, they haven't been out here grinding, but it's essentially we're a big ass party. Champion is literally trying to, I won't say regrow its brand, but they're stepping back into the mainstream. And again,
oh yeah, like Champion, Starter. I feel like they're all kind of like doing that.
So they have a Fortnite team, which is, I wouldn't necessarily a team. It's more like we sign streamers who play Fortnite and are really good, and they play in skirmishes for us. Mm-hmm. They do have a Counter-Strike team, Call of Duty, FIFA players, Rainbow Six, and PUBG Battlegrounds, or PUBG. Why did I say PUBG Battlegrounds? But yeah.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the fucking FaZe members and I'm like, no.
The only thing that bothers me is like
the long line curved shirts and the fitted
yeah
joggers.
I don't want to knock them for being so into fashion. It just feels like, and I don't want to do like this whole FaZe Clan deep dive, but it really feels like they're one of the brands where it's like I don't know. Because there's so much, their whole org is based around just being super, super popular and just having a good time and partying. I don't know if like their stuff, I don't want to say it's not quality, but like it's not like 100 Thieves where it's like I want to provide the best, I guess. I don't know. I can't say too much about it.
Like quality of clothing?
Yeah, because they do so many collabs, so it's it's easy to get.
I was saying maybe that's why they do collabs, because they want their shit to be higher tier. That's why they're like, yo, Champion, come here. I know you got good shit. I remember you in the 90s. Your shit was mad comfy. Let's do some clothing. I think they make up for the fact that there's a chance that their shit might not be as quality by doing these collabs with people.
But the thing is like, even if it's trash quality, people are going to buy it because it's FaZe Clan.
Well, yeah.
Did you see like their crayon t-shirt thing that they did?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Let's call a spade a fucking spade. Those were not cool. They were not dope. And even Hypebeast should come out and say, "Yo, those weren't it. Those were not it."
This ain't it, Chief.
I don't know. That was my quick FaZe like take. I only know one person from that org, and that dude's really dope. So I don't want to like offend him or anybody who is around him. And for me, it's just like what the perception that FaZe gives me and what they stand off, or what their perception to me looks like. I'm not in agreement with it, but I could see why people are attracted to the org. Plain and simple.
Did you make yourself tea, by the way?
I did, but to be honest, the only reason I made myself tea is because I wanted water, but there was no like faucet or any. There was literally only a thing for hot water, so I was like, still want water, so fuck it.
All right. So what do we got next on? I feel like I know what we got next on the docket, and I know it's gonna trigger me a little bit. There it is.
But why did it trigger you?
I'm so goddamn tired of every fucking social media thing trying to get involved in gaming. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it.
Well, that's because they now see that gaming has social aspects, and it's not, hey, you're sitting in a room or a basement by yourself just playing, or like you're some weirdo that's online. Well, there are still weirdos who are yelling profanities at each other through mics and whatnot, but
Oh, you mean us right now?
yeah.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, it's Snapchat is entering the gaming market.
So pretty much it's the parent company. It says parent company, but it's essentially Snapchat.
I mean, what else does Snap Inc. have?
Well, apparently gaming bullshit now. Well, the game's still going to be through Snapchat. Like, apparently there's going to be this one game called Bitmoji. I have no idea what that's supposed to, like.
I mean, Bitmojis are just like... Do you know what Bitmoji are? Okay, so do you remember...
They're the little annoying avatars that people have.
Exactly.
That expose your location, which I think people should really turn off because that's just really stupid.
Yeah.
Well, people already don't like sending their locations to each other on
That drives
Apple.
me fucking bonkers, by the way.
So my thing is like, if you don't want to send it on Apple, why would you want to send people to know where you are on Snapchat? It's the same fucking thing.
I mean, it also drives me bonkers when a friend's like, yo, come through to blah, blah, blah. And like, it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, cool. Where do I go? And they're just like, they send you an address and you got to wander around like an asshole for an hour. And it's just like, just send me your fucking location of when you're in the club.
Wait, so you're in agreement with people should send location or they shouldn't?
I think they should send locations.
Okay. I don't
think they should have it like publicly, like on Snapchat, where it's like you just swipe up and open up a map and suddenly it's like, hey, I know where this person is. Because that's wild problematic.
But so aside from you not being a fan of Snapchat, what is your insight on all these social medias wanting to be a part of gaming? Because I feel like Facebook, they're being aggressive, but it's sort of subtle to some extent. Like they're just like, oh, we're gonna add a gaming tab, but it's like, we know what the fuck this is about. Facebook, just come out and just.
I mean, you already have signed streamers just exclusively for Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, is Snapchat trying to get exclusive streamers for Snapchat, or like, what's it trying to do?
Oh my! If people start streaming Snapchat games, I swear to God, I don't know. I might uninstall my entire laptop.
I mean, if you think about it, also like you're starting. When is Instagram going to get in on that?
Well, Instagram is owned by Facebook, so technically they're already
in it. They're
in it, but like you don't. Do you need to implement gaming to Instagram because Instagram is its own?
Do you think they will though? It's a very like it's like they very much could.
I think they will, but it won't be in the sense of it won't be like the same as what Snapchat is doing, where it's adding games to its platform. I think it'll be more of a visual thing on Instagram because that's what Instagram is about. So I think you'll see like more gaming related sponsors pop up. Your explore page might start having more gaming related stuff in it.
I just read that they want to partner with Zynga. Didn't Zynga do
They did Facebook games.
Didn't they do like not Farming Simulator? Farmville. They did.
I think they did Mafia Wars. Like all the fun games that were back, super fun when you're like in middle school.
That like wild 60-year-olds are still playing.
Yeah, because that shit was time consuming. Where it's like, oh, you ran out of energy. Wait 4 days and then come back, and it's like, all right, cool. I'll wait these 4 days. I'll be right back.
I'll be right here.
Can you imagine that though? If like Snapchat is like, hey, play this game. Oh, you've done this. Boom, here's an ad. Watch this ad for like more energy or something.
You know that's gonna happen.
That's literally all this is to push more ads.
Yeah.
And again, that's why I think Facebook will do it with Instagram, but not to the point where it's gonna add games. It's just gonna push more ads to your face because you're already scrolling, you're already double tapping. It'll just be gaming shit, just more ad.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what Instagram is. It's just ad for stuff.
Instead of getting more ads for Riot Society. I see you. You guys are always advertising on my shit.
I'm really tired of seeing King Botch's face on my fucking Twitter with his fucking Postmates pizza shit. Every time, it's like, I'm like, show me this less. And it shows me every time I open the fucking app.
Show me this less. You mean show it to you more?
I'm like, bro, I don't even use Postmates. Literally, all these like delivery services and things are trash in DC. You're either out of range, or when you really want it and it's like 11 o'clock at night, or even like 10 o'clock, it's like, oh, we're closed.
Yeah. Don't have that problem in New York City. That's what's the greatest city. Okay. Let's go back.
But closing thoughts on Snapchat getting into the gaming market space.
It's
You
stupid.
against it?
It's stupid. It's use Snapchat to send your pics to your girlfriend or your boyfriend.
That's not what you were gonna say at first. I saw it in your face.
No,
you were literally about to say use Snapchat to send your nudes and just be done.
Actually, yeah. Use Snapchat to send your nudes and your provocative, flirty ass snaps to whoever, so you can like have a good night. That's it. What?
Whoa. Okay, so Snapchat's onto us.
Let's have a quick moment that I accidentally hit the button on my Siri, and it said, and it picked up me saying provocative, and it said, "Did you accidentally summon me?" Wow, drinking some tea over here. But
the tea's on your phone right now.
It's just honestly, use your Snapchat just to interact with your friends and shit. You don't need gaming.
Yeah.
You have so many other outlets for gaming. You have an entire iPhone that you could play games that are indie and not.
Yeah, but you gotta sign up for a subscription. Dude, okay, they're probably gonna end up adding some subscription thing too. Think about it. That's what Apple's about to do with theirs. Well, no, because they don't need to do it because they'll be pushing so many ads. So never mind, I take that back.
Yeah.
I already fall into like the Snapchat trap of like giving them money through ads because I just literally go to it for like brief news. Like literally the only news that I'll watch on Snapchat is ESPN and Complex. Even though Complex should really just do video format and stop making me read it, and then it repeats and loops and then does the whole animation and I have to like
I occasionally read Vice on Snapchat.
Oh yeah, so ESPN, Vice, and
Complex.
On occasion, I might accidentally hit Daily Mail and just be like, oh, what the fuck did I just click? And then I'll be like, oh, it's about the Kardashians. Let me close this. Didn't mean to click that. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. Snapchat really doesn't need to get into gaming or say that they're moving into a gaming market. They could have literally done it and just not have said anything.
Yeah.
But we all know this is literally just for ads.
Yeah.
They're just going to make a bunch of money from ads.
Speaking of Kardashians, whoever put out that Kim Kardashian was training to be a lawyer, just say she's going to law school.
I was listening to something about that on the way over here.
Weird side tangent. Anyways, what do we got next? Oh.
We got... Ooh, I'm excited to talk about this one. People... Okay. I don't even know how to start this. So people are very bothered that Borderlands 3 will be an exclusive game to Epic's game store for 6 months. I'm in agreement with these people that are angry and the ones that are doing review bombs on Steam. And that guy who's beeping his horn outside. And here's why. What is currently happening with Steam and the Epic Store is the exact same thing that we literally just saw that happened with Tidal, Spotify, and Apple. You have exclusives for a brief amount of time that's going to drive traffic to your platform. Those numbers are going to be fake because it's not real. It's real numbers, but it's not.
It's people going to this
ideal.
because they're forced to go to this.
So you're taking into account, oh, I'm only having this trial for 30 or 3 months, blah blah blah. You're having a brief spurt of increased numbers. You're going to use that to sell more ads, more data, the data that you're getting, push that out. And that's essentially the same thing that's going to happen with Steam and Epic Store. Epic is literally going to have people being driven to their store by exclusives for 6 months so that they can say, oh, Borderlands sold the most copies ever on a digital store, but it's literally only Epic who has it. Because you're literally driving people away from Steam. You're essentially creating a monopoly. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem that streaming platforms had with music. Like when Chance released his album, Beyonce released her album, and Kanye released his album. Like it was the things that you're driving people to that platform, and everyone else is missing out for this time, but they're losing money because no one's on those platforms, and that's going to be the problem when all these companies realize like, yo, we're not making fucking money by doing this exclusive shit. All right, we got to have some type of truce. Like you guys, we can't do this because you're going to lose money over time.
Yeah,
and because right now it's only Steam and Epic Store. Like, I don't think people are really shopping on Discord. But imagine if Discord comes in and is like,
well, again, Discord now is starting to drop exclusive Discord games.
but most of those are like indies, right?
Yeah.
But imagine what's a big release coming out soon? Imagine if Discord was like, yo, we got this Elder Scrolls 6 exclusive for 8 months. People are gonna flock to Discord.
Well, it's the idea of that. It's the idea of that. Like, people, what's gonna happen is, if this actually ends up going through, is that people are going to, all the people that want Borderlands 3 really badly are gonna buy it. Yeah. Obviously, they're all gonna buy it. They're all gonna cop it.
But you also
Epic Games gonna be like, shit. Is it Epic? Yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, shit. We made all this money. We made all this money. Fuck yeah. We like did it. And then, but they're not gonna see any consistent income. After about 2 months, all those people that have bought it already bought it. That's it.
The thing that's kind of misleading with it as well is the fact that some people don't want to use Epic. Some people have preferences. Some people hate Steam. Some people are gonna hate the Epic Store, right?
Everyone hates Origin.
Everyone hates Origin. But the thing is when there's a game on there, the thing that's gonna drive people most is they don't want to have spoilers. They don't want to miss out on what's trending right now.
Yeah.
So of course people are gonna go to Epic and buy the game. But like you said, it's not gonna provide consistent information.
After 2 months, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, I played Borderlands. It was cool." Blah blah blah. Moving on, and then that's it. And then finally, 6 months later, someone's gonna come down the road and be like, "Oh shit, I forgot about Borderlands. Shit, it's on Steam now. Let me cop it." And then they're gonna be like, "Oh cool, we got more money again." And it's gonna be like, "All right, a month's passed. Everyone who got it now, that's it. You're not gonna have people consistently buying your game." And I think, is that gonna be the same thing for DLC? And then what's gonna happen? All those people who bought the game on third-party sellers like Steam or something like that, are they gonna now have to miss out because they didn't buy it on the Epic Store? Or is it gonna be like, now guess what? You don't get to play the DLC for another month. Yeah. I know it says it comes out May, whatever, but guess what? You don't get to play it till June. Yeah. And it's gonna be like, I don't want to fucking wait. I'm not gonna put more money into this game if you're making me wait. I already bought the base game. I already beat it. Goodbye.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Borderlands is it's a loot shooter, so you can spend countless hours in it. My thing that with the exclusive stuff is that it's going to lead to misleading information. When they go back and look at the sales of Borderlands or for these platforms, they're going to be like, oh, Borderlands sold this amount on Epic Store compared to Steam. It's like, but they're not going to mention the fact that
it was
Epic,
exclusive.
Yeah, it was exclusive, and Epic had 6-month head start compared to Steam.
It's going to be a lie, and it's going to be like this idea of oh, you see, the Epic Game Store is a good idea, guys. Yeah. And it's like, no, it's not.
But it's not the fact that it might not be a good idea. It's the fact that people only read headlines. Yeah. We're only reading the headlines. And when you do that, people are only going to see that and say, well, Epic must be better than Steam because it sold more copies on this platform. Yeah. Now Steam is gonna be the ones trying to figure out, okay, where now can we get exclusives? Yeah. Because this is obviously what people want. This is what they want to see.
It essentially becomes a turf war.
Yeah, but again, people are gonna lose money. So I feel like right now, if Borderlands 3 is gonna remain an exclusive, let this be the last one. Yeah. This is forced. Literally, it just happened with the music industry. You're gonna lose money. No one's gonna win, and you're gonna have to find some middle ground where it's we cannot keep doing this because we just don't want to lose money, and you're essentially monopolizing, the digital market space for gaming.
Yeah, I mean, it's the idea. I think the middle ground will eventually be it'll be like what PS4 and Xbox does, where it's we're all releasing on the same console, but some of us have a different exclusive DLC, while other people have an exclusive DLC, it's Call of Duty, right?
Or what?
Call of Duty Black Ops 3, where PS4 has an extra map. When it first dropped, it had an additional map.
I think it had an extra 2 maps for 6 months.
Yeah, and then 6 months. I think that's what's going to end up being the mid-ground, is that they're going to be all right, we'll all put it out, but let's just say we'll take Borderlands. We'll all put out Borderlands on everything. But let's just say if you buy from the Epic Gear Store, you get this gun that you can't unlock in any other version until 6 months, and then we'll put it in as a free DLC patch.
But how does that affects esports as well, though? Depending on the game.
I think if you're making a game that's geared towards esports, then obviously you can't really do that.
Yeah.
They're like it's like, but again, like Call of Duty like plays, and they just use they use the base set maps that were originally supposed to come out. They don't use any of the exclusive shit or anything like that. So that's what you play on. That's what you train on.
Yeah. My coworker made what I thought was a good point, but I saw kind of through what he was saying. He was saying, how is what Epic Game Store is doing any different from what Microsoft and Sony do when you have exclusives to a console?
Yeah.
The thing with that is those aren't meant to pull people away from an Xbox or PS4. And that was a jump cut because there's a loud ass truck driving by. What was I talking about? Oh, the difference between
Console
exclusives and the market exclusive, right? So yeah, they're both meant to. Right now, with exclusives in a digital platform, is you have one person on one console, a PC. You're pulling people away from one platform to buy your game, but then it's going to come out on a different. It's going to come out on a different platform a few months later. So it's not really. It's a time limited exclusive. Whereas on a console, those are life exclusive. Those are franchise exclusives, where it's an agreement between the person making the device that you're playing it on and the actual developers. Because I don't think it comes down to the publisher. But if I'm wrong, somebody can correct me.
And somebody will.
Yeah. And I think it comes down to the developers and the people that make the console. And again, those are lifetime franchises. So it's not like, oh damn, I'll never get it. Well, I have to wait 8 months to play this or blah blah blah. You can literally buy the game or go to someone's house who has that console and play it. Yeah, it's not as fun. You want to be able to sit in the own comfort of your home and play it, but you're not missing out for an extended time when something is trendy. You can go back and play it.
Or you wait 10 years and then it goes on future consoles.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 10 2 being on the Switch all of a sudden. It's been fucking 10 years. Looking at you, Resident Evil and Capcom.
But doesn't Square Enix do that with a lot of their games where they go
They
back
do. They like re-release them on like they've been doing that more now. Like now, future consoles have been coming out and like they re-release them. But yeah.
But I the biggest thing with the consoles is just that they've always been a thing, and at first, yeah, it might have been looked at as the same, like, well, that's not fair. Now I have to go buy both consoles, and I can't afford that. But again, those are meant to drive the sale of the console and not necessarily pull someone away. Yep. And the thing with it is you fall in love with those franchises that are exclusive, and you're like, this is why I want to continue to buy this console. Yeah. Because I love this franchise. And then when you experience another one and you do have the money to buy another console, you can be like, okay, now I can play these. Or, hey, my friend has this game, I can go over to their house and watch them play, or I can play with them. I don't necessarily have to wait 8 months, miss the trend, and then, be like, okay, now I'm going to buy it. Now, it's on you kind of if you missed the trend because you didn't want to buy from Epic Store. But if that's not your preferred place to shop, then you don't want to shop there. It's like if there's something that I want and it's not in Walmart and it's on Amazon, but I know that I hate Amazon and like my experiences with Amazon have been terrible. Do I just bite the bullet and be like, well, I need to get this thing, or I want this thing? Do I just suck it up and order from Amazon even though my experience might be shit? Or do I wait for it to come to Walmart? Or do I try to find it elsewhere? And that's my biggest thing with the console thing is again, those are lifetime exclusives for the most part, and that when you miss out on an entire experience versus you miss out on the trend.
Yeah.
And again, to wrap all that up, I think that this exclusive bullshit is going to be very temporary. People are going to start losing a lot of money. I just hope that it's sooner than later that they realize they're going to lose money and figure out some fucking middle ground where it's like, all right, we can sell shit and not have it hurting our revenue and have fucking misleading information. Yeah. Because that's all it's going to fucking lead to. Yeah. You got any last input on it?
No. Just... this is probably going to blow up in their face, and they'll realize their mistake.
Blow up in whose face? Epic?
Yes.
I don't think it'll blow up in their face. Again, I think it'll just come I think it'll just cause people to be like, we need exclusive, we need exclusive, we need exclusive. So yeah, it could blow up in their face, but I don't think it's gonna be like. I think if they notice it early enough, it'll be prevented. But it also comes down to not only Epic but Steam, Discord, any place that's selling games.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, like what you're doing isn't right. You're fucking up everyone's pockets, and we gotta figure something out because we're not just gonna like let you fucking monopolize with trying to get an exclusive for every game, and then everyone else is missing out. And now the only trend, and again, this is something to get people talking about Epic Games. Because again, we're talking about it. The articles about it. That's all it is. It's driving.
It's just to be like, hey,
we're here.
We're here. Borderlands 3. You should fucking buy it. Okay, thanks. That's really what it's about.
Oh, I thought you were like promoting and saying like, yeah, buy it on Epic. Yeah.
No.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. I think it'll blow up, but I just hope they figure out the solution before it gets too soon, and just look at how it affected Spotify, Apple, and Tidal when they kept having back and forths on you can get this album here, but you can't get it anywhere else, and it's like I don't really want Apple Music or I don't really want Spotify Premium, but I got to do it because everyone's talking about this shit on Instagram and Twitter. So we shall see. I guess this can be brief. Liquipedia finally has Apex Legends wiki in alpha. That wasn't a brief like, oh, I don't want to talk about Apex Legends. It's more of like all it does is kind of establish like there's starting to be footing for grassroots in Apex Legends.
Yeah,
which is a good sign. I would like to see where it leads. I don't know how most of these people's stats are going to come up on. Again, it's an alpha at the moment, so I don't know where these stats are being pulled from necessarily.
Right. Because there's no like open division things for you to professionally stat track and stuff. There's no professional stat trackers.
Yeah, and my thing is like of tournaments that may occur, which ones are you only using ones that are listed on Liquipedia?
Are they official? Are they not official?
Well, definitely not official. It's all grassroots stuff right now. Yeah. But the thing is like, what if there's a tournament here, but it's not listed on Liquipedia, but someone's page is using stats and whatnot from a tournament that's not listed on Wikipedia? Then it's like, wait, this isn't adding up. Again, it's an alpha. I'm glad to see that it finally has one. I just hope to see a little bit more established grassroots. But also to mention that one of the developers actually was doing some type of video thing. I think someone tweeted and asked a question and said, hey, when are we going to see something in competitive aspect for Apex Legends? And he's like, I don't know. Like, that might be a plan in the future, but I'm not sure yet. And then everyone took that as so y'all said y'all were gonna do stuff for competitive, but now you're saying you don't know if you're gonna do stuff for competitive.
You're all fucking lying.
Or you have no plan. I think it was literally a bluff. It was just to say, look, every game has a every BR game right now has some type of competitive scene. Not to say like we made this game for competitive, but we're probably going to do something in the realm of competitive gaming just because we want to make that dollar.
I think they tried to use it as a hook.
Yeah.
It's like when you're dating somebody and they're like, we can't be together right now. And it's like, oh, does that mean? It's the same thing, I think.
Yeah, giving someone hope.
We don't got a competitive scene right now.
Yeah. But people were kind of like, yo, what the fuck, man? Y'all said y'all were going to do this, and now you're saying you're not. And it's like,
but then they're going to probably be like, hey, we said maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll have to keep playing and giving us money.
You might have to buy another battle pass and have access to
Winky
our competitive
face.
Yeah. But.
All right. So I really want to talk about this. I want to talk about this topic so much. Because I can't feel my face.
Oh, my God.
When I'm with you.
I hate you. Some of these days, I just...
Why is he a host with me?
So let's give the people some background real quick before they can't feel their face either. The Weeknd has invested into his hometown esports.
The motherfucking Starboy. That was a song by him. If you guys didn't get that part,
I was thinking like one of these teams are gonna fucking use that as reference in something, and they're either gonna come out with star jackets. You know the Starboy jacket.
Yeah.
It's gonna. Oh God, I'm not looking forward to this. Anyway, The Weeknd has invested into overactive and what the fuck? What? Overactive Media. Why did I want to say Overactive Intermedia or something? What the fuck is wrong with me? He invested into Overactive Media. If, for those of you who don't know, that's the parent company of Splice and Toronto Defiant. So essentially, he invested into Toronto Defiant. Plain and simple, because he's from Toronto.
Yeah.
The Spice was just a little bonus.
Yeah.
Henry, Hank, Sir, Young Chipotle.
Hey, what's up?
Give me your insight on the weekend investing into his hometown Overwatch team.
Okay, so we've talked about many different people. We've talked about Drake. We've talked about Meek Mill. We've talked about Snoop Dogg. And I feel like this is gonna be the trend. I think this is just a trend of what's popular right now. And I feel like the weekend just being like, somebody was just like, hey, like, I heard you want to invest in like esports, right? And he was just like, I don't know, sure, whatever. And they're like, you know, your hometown Toronto, they have a team, Overwatch League, Toronto Defiant. You want to do that? And he was just like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. And then he did it. And then he took some fucking photos holding a fucking gamepad and being like, like, does he really fucking care? No, he just wanted to be like, he wanted a piece of the pie, of the hype beast train pie. Hype beast train? No. Of like the fucking hype train. He wanted to be a part of the hype train, just like everybody else has been doing it. And I don't think I don't think he's really gonna be like, oh, I'm invested in gaming, I'm invested in Overwatch, I'm a fucking Mercy main or fucking whatever. I think he was just trying to jump on a train. And that's what, and again, that's great and all for the moment. I think getting a boost in money and stuff like that is cool in the moment. I think in the moment, that's great. I think like it adds the funds, it adds a little bit of hype, it adds a little bit of more interest and stuff like that. But in the long run, no, it's not. I personally don't think it's not. I think when you have all these people like, can you remember who invested in Overwatch League teams last season?
Sort of. Are you talking about the owners or people?
Just investors. Not the people.
A little bit.
Like you it's like, oh,
you gotta look it up every once in a while.
Oh yeah, Serena Williams invested in San Francisco Shock. Yeah.
Oh, Shaquille O'Neal, like NRG, but
like it's all low key.
Yeah,
and it's just like it goes away. Like all these people keep thinking like, oh, if I invest now, I'm gonna get a really good return. No, you're not. You're really not.
You will, but maybe not right now.
Yeah, you're not gonna get these like instantaneous like I don't know why you guys are doing this. Maybe it's just because somebody was like, it might be a good move, man. I don't agree with it, and I'm tired of it.
I think it's two reasons. One, my first reason is kind of a joke, but I think it does have something to do with it. The second one will be the more like, okay, this is more of the legitimate reason. So the first joking reason, I think motherfuckers are trying to keep up with Drake. I'm just gonna say it right.
They could be.
He invested in 100 Thieves and then invests into the player lounge thing, right? Mm-hmm. Bunch of gaming stuff. Plays Fortnite with Ninja to market his album. Let's get that fucking straight, because people think he did it to market Scorpion, which you probably didn't have to do. But anyway, I think people are trying to keep up with Drake.
They bounce that shit like, whoa.
And the fact that, well, this investment is a little bit more smarter because he's investing into his hometown, which is also Drake's hometown. So now if Drake comes and is like, yo, what's up? I'm trying to invest in Splice in Toronto. They're going to be like, huh?
We got the weekend already.
Like, and, you know, they had a little squabble, the whole ghostwriting thing, whatever. And people are going to be like, the weekend might come back and be like, yo, why you trying to like come over here and do?
Why you trying to fight with me at Cheesecake?
Yeah, you know I like to go there, but like y'all both are from Toronto, so you both like to go there. Jesus, New York, please, we're trying to record. So I think a lot of people are, whether Drake is the first one to do it or notice it or have anything. Not saying that he is the one, right? That, you know, is being an innovator or doing something crazy or outlandish or just, you know, exploring unknown territory. I think because of his name and what comes with his name, people see him doing it and they're like, why is he doing that? I got to get on that.
Yeah.
The second part, I think, is more of the reason people should be paying attention is relevancy and advertising. I think The Weeknd getting a, you know, being a part of Overwatch League through that is a way for him to market new music. his clothing.
I was gonna say, so, and I think about this
Because
like this way.
you will be the first guy who walks into a New York Excelsior game versus Toronto Defiant with a Starboy jacket with the New York jersey, being like, "Hey, I'm here to support both teams." That's gonna be you, and tell me I'm lying.
I mean, okay, so I do want to. So I've been thinking about this, and the idea of advertising, want to advertise new music and trying to be known as an artist totally makes sense. You know why? Soul Dynasty has a theme song. They have their own walkout song that's done by a Korean rapper. And I feel like people, because they heard that song, now are like, oh shit, let me get into this rapper, and he's gotten more exposure from that.
Yeah.
So I swear to God, if Toronto Defiant doesn't get a fucking walkout song by the weekend, I'm gonna be pissed.
I think another thing with this is I don't know how many people have bought it and plan on buying it, but the Overwatch League All Access Pass. Imagine if you get some type of weekend bundle where it's like, yo, you buy the Access Pass, you get exclusives to weekend unreleased music or album something, piece of merchandise.
Oh my God, weekend at the grand finals?
He just better know. He just better know who he's performing for. That's all I ask. Please inform if he
talk to DJ Khaled. Be like, hey, listen, man, what did you do?
No,
wrong?
don't talk to him. He's gonna because he doesn't know what he did wrong. He just went out and see. This is the thing. DJ Khaled didn't do anything wrong. He went out, showed out, and performed. He was himself. The people who put that together did not inform him. Yo, you're gonna go out there. Some of these people might not know who you are or your music. They just saw you on Snapchat talking about the keys. And then those people were like, who the fuck is this guy on the stage? This ain't Overwatch. Why is he moving his feet like that? I've never seen that before. Why is he doing this? Why is he so loud and energetic?
Let's meme him for the rest of time.
Exactly. Now, the weekend, I don't know. Do I want to say that he's more well known? I feel like in gaming, he's probably more well known than DJ Khaled. In gaming, I feel like.
Is it because he did the collabs with Daft Punk? A lot of fucking gamers love Daft Punk?
I think it's just more of the type of music.
Okay.
And the again, we just referenced Starboy. That was a really big song, and it's very friendly. Not it's very safe.
Yeah.
DJ Khaled has safe music as well, but him having a song with Justin Bieber and Quavo probably was not as big as Starboy.
Hold on. How is The Weeknd safe when he has a whole song about orgasms?
Do half the people that are listening to that song know that that's about orgasm?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Somebody correct Troy's ass, please.
Because I don't think a lot of gamers listen to lyrics. I don't think exactly they jam to it because they like the whole, but they're not paying attention to what he's saying.
All right, it's fine. That's why a lot of gamers
like when some people.
I was gonna say why a lot of gamers like K-pop.
I was about to bring. Do you think some gamers, whether they know Korean or not, do you think that they know what all those songs are about?
Probably not.
They're just like, oh, this is catchy. I like it. I don't know what they're saying. And I've listened to music where I'm like, I don't know what he's saying, but it's catchy.
Shout out to Blackpink for playing Coachella day one.
Real quick, did you see that the showers caught on fire?
At Coachella?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Apparently the showers blew up, and this is not esports related, but it was funny because I was reading it before we started recording. But yeah, apparently like sometime early this morning or last night, the showers caught on fire, and like people are like, yo, we gotta get out of here. And people are like, it's a real fire festival. Those people are assholes. Those people are assholes. You cannot, just because something caught on fire at Coachella, you can't call it fire festival.
So since we kind of talked about Overwatch League, I guess we can go into like our topics about Overwatch League.
Yeah, you want to talk about some player moves?
I actually want to talk about Toronto Defiant. Do you know about I'm 37?
Nope.
So I'm 37 is either 19 or 20-year-old. And he has a record. He has gone in under 30 days. I believe it's like 22 days from open league to contenders.
Wait, is this the guy who like came out of nowhere and just was like, yo, I'm pro now. What up?
Exactly. Okay, I'm 37 in a mere, I think it was like 22 days. Went from open league, which is like you get together, you play on games and shit like that, and then maybe like you get scouted by a contenders team, to a contenders team. He played, I think, 1 or 2 games for contenders, and then he got signed by Toronto Defiant. And now he's playing as a sub, and he is playing in games. He's not just sitting on the bench. He is playing for Toronto Defiant. If that is the most fucking esports fever dream I've ever seen or read, like, correct me. It's like a fucking fever dream.
Shout out to him though. That's a hustle.
Like
then there's a little bit of luck, but that's congratulations.
So there's a moment when they.
And how old did you say he was?
I think he's 19 or 20.
Yeah, that's a fucking dream.
That's such a dream.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna play Overwatch. It's literally when Overwatch League first, like, they started advertising it, and it was like that. It was like, get your name out there, rise through the rankings, and then fall, start again, re-go, blah blah blah. You remember? And it was like Crusher. They used the guy's name was Crusher, and they were like, get your name up there. And they're like painting the wallpapers and shit. It's literally that, except without the wallpaping shit. But it's like he went from open division, and do you feel that, like, you had this the meteoric rise? Like, do you feel like there's going to be a fall? Do you think he's just going to be, do you think he's just going to go into this name of, like, oh, cool, that was cool, he did that thing, all right, now he's just a player? Or do you think he's going to be, like, in the spotlight for a while now? Or does it depend on how well Toronto Defiant does in the Overwatch League this season?
I think it depends on how he performs, for one, for sure. I think it depends on how Toronto Defiant performs. And I think it depends on how their organization tries to market it. Yeah. What he's done, right? Because, again, you said he's 19. I don't think he knows or is informed on how to market himself or what his accomplishment. That is a huge accomplishment. I think he will be known for that for a really long time, if not, like, consider, like, depending on how he performs, consider a legend within Overwatch for doing that. Because, again, most people probably aren't going to be able to do that within a month. But I think it really depends on how the team performs. If they underperform, it's immediately going to be his fault. People are going to be like, why did you guys, whether he's a sub or starter, like, why'd you sign this guy? He was only playing, he just was breaking into the scene. He's only playing competitively for a month, blah, blah, blah. Whether they're going to ignore everything else he did before that to from whenever he started, got signed, and then either the downfall. Now, now if they perform really well, they're probably going to try to utilize him and market him saying, well, he's the reason of their success. Yeah. He was able to do this in a month. He carried them through this, got them through phase 2, got them to, world finals. He is a legend. Yeah. So I feel like it's going to play out in two ways. I really don't feel like, I feel like because of the stature of the accomplishment, it's going to be really hard. And I won't say be really hard. It'll be really dumb if it's not marketed in either of those ways. Because I don't think he should be blamed if they have a downfall, but that's what outlets and media are going to say. He's the reason that they didn't perform, or he is the reason that they did perform. Right. So I feel like it depends on how the team and how he performs will determine his legacy status in a sense. Mm.
So moving on, we have a couple. Overwatch League does this weird thing, and they did it last season where, like, between stages 1 and 2, they just sign players, they retire players, people get traded like crazy. Yeah. And it's like stage 1 is like, oh, cool, yeah, you did all right, but we're going to trade you. Yeah. So speaking of which, 2 players actually retired from the league. Effect, who played for the Dallas Fuel, retired finally.
Why do you say finally?
If you guys remember, Effect played for Dallas Fuel last season, and around the end end of stage 3, he had this idea of burnout, and he had, like, severe depression, severe, like, stress, anxiety, and, like, he's like I couldn't sleep. So what he did was, for stage 4 of the league, he left. He went back to Korea, and he took, like, a hiatus. Came back for season 2, played and stuff like that, which is cool. But finally he said he's done, he's tired. He did as much as he could, but now he's just he was done and he's retiring. And he's probably going to retire to be just a full-time streamer.
But you said 2 people retired, correct?
Yes. So the other person who retired was Defran. Okay. If you guys know Defran was like a big streamer, and everybody was like, oh, he kind of played for a Contenders team, like futzing around, and then he went back to streaming, and everybody's like, oh, we love Defran. And then he got signed to Atlanta Reign, and he played. So Defran retired after playing one stage of Overwatch League, and essentially he was like, this was fun. I did it for shits and gigs. That was cool. Atlanta Reign's still going to sponsor all my streams, so I'm still getting some of that money, that Atlanta Reign money. That's cool. This was fun, bye.
Was he playing on a team before he assigned to Atlanta?
He had dabbled around in playing like on a contenders team.
But only contenders.
Yeah, never on an Overwatch League team.
That's a little weird.
I think
it's strange to go from contenders to sign to a pro team to then be like, hey, I'm going to retire after, because Atlanta's only been around for this season,
yeah.
right?
So I think it's the idea of it's kind of like Siegel. When Siegel last season, he did a whole season with Dallas Fuel, and then he was like, I'm done. I think it's the idea of, and then of course you had XQC playing for Dallas Fuel for a little while, and then getting suspended, and then coming back, and then getting suspended, and then coming back, and then like just being like, fuck it, you're out of the Overwatch League.
Yeah.
And then him like kind of just not dicking around, but him like futzing around a little bit with streams, and he's got a very popular stream, so he relied on that. And then like now he kind of does, he's a sub tank for Gladiators Legion, which is LA Gladiators contenders team. I think it's the idea of like streamers who transition over into the pro scene, them just I think it's the idea of them not liking the lifestyle. I think it's definitely a change of a lifestyle compared to you being a streamer versus being a pro player.
Yeah.
I think definitely being a streamer is the idea about essentially using it for entertainment and having fun and making money about having fun. While being a pro player is all about performance-based stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's what ended up happening with DeFran. I think that's what happened with Siegel last season, when he was just like, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to go back to being a streamer. It's more consistent. I think it's more so the idea of like, it's like consistently getting revenue, getting viewership, and it's like a different type of lifestyle. And I think when streamers try to enter that pro scene, I definitely think that it's...
Well, they essentially lose almost like if they have a personality, what can be a moneymaker for them, because right now esports is not really personality driven.
Yeah, it's more so statistical player stuff.
Yeah.
Which is essentially how real sports is, where it's like, that guy's name, but you don't know if he's like, he does not, it's like, yeah, you get the contract, oh, he went out clubbing and like got shot or blah, 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 or whatever.
Yeah, but I think there's a balance. I think you do have to have personalities, kind of like with what we were saying with the 2K League thing. You have to have personalities. You have to have something that's going to engage people and make them want to watch for something. Even if it's like some people, like a lot of people say with NASCAR, people don't watch NASCAR for the races. They watch it to wait and see a car crash. They want to see something that they're not used to seeing.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you take away that personality and these people who come from streams to being pro players, or players who then, or people who become pro players and then see a lifestyle in streaming, they kind of want that. So I can kind of understand why people would want to step away and be like, hey, I kind of want to do my own thing, maybe with the assistance or without the assistance of an organization within the competitive scene.
So so I think it's the idea of like when you leave for the pro scene, you give up a lot of that. You give up your Twitch account essentially, because it's like, oh, you want me to do streaming and go to practice and do this and do that and I think it also locks you into a game, and I think it can make you sick of a game. I think if you're constantly practicing for one game and then you go and stream it, you're like sick of it.
So, you call yourself Young Chipotle.
I do.
How do you feel about Chipotle investing in the esports? We could potentially get a Chipotle sponsorship. You already call yourself Young Chipotle? You need to get on this, man. Get us free Chipotle for life.
I call myself Young Chipotle as a joke, and now that Chipotle's investing, bring up the article. Oh no, I can't.
They're essentially so Chipotle is planning to sponsor ESL and DreamHack events, which could potentially...
Holy shit, if I go to DreamHack and there's fucking Chipotle, I'm eating so much Chipotle the entire weekend of DreamHack.
See, my only issue with this is right,
I don't even eat the chips anymore. They got keto bowls. I love them.
when you go to basketball games, they drop burritos from the rafters on parachutes.
What?
At basketball games, they drop burritos.
Chipotle.
Yes. The thing is, you don't know what's in the burrito. This is kind of all talk. They drop burritos from the rafters. Food at events are expensive, right?
Yeah.
So can you imagine having Chipotle that's probably sat out all day, on top of paying maybe $12 for something that's $7 or $8? With them sponsoring the tournament, I think it's just more of the advertisement stuff. It's a lot. It's just a fuck ton of advertisement. But
so we're not going to get Chipotle at ESL and DreamHack?
Well, that depends. That's on you. Is Young Chipotle going to step up to his calling and get the people what they want, that's on young fucking Chipotle.
You know what's fucked up though? You want to hear something really fucked up? I had Qdoba this week.
All right, no, you know what? You're not calling yourself young Chipotle.
I had a salad bowl from Qdoba.
Young Qdoba, what do you think about Chipotle getting into this? Do you think it's gonna boost up their food?
So I think it
sales?
makes sense. I think it's the same way of how it's how Coca-Cola invested in the Overwatch League, and I don't think it's gonna be really just like, oh, we're selling burritos or whatever. You're gonna see like fucking the banner like on ESL, the electronic banners when you're at the events, and it's gonna be like eat Chipotle, or like it's gonna be like whatever the fuck Chipotle's goddamn catchphrase is. Do they even have one? I don't know. But you're gonna see the electronic thing. It's gonna be like eat Chipotle, and then it's gonna be like, and then everyone's gonna be like, hey, you want to get Chipotle after this? That's what's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna be any like thing big. I mean, I think if they really get deep enough in it, I think eventually you're gonna get like the, hey, like let's look at the Chipotle brings you the map pool for the games today. Like here it is, or like. Or
map pool presented by Chipotle.
Yeah, I think that's what you're gonna get. I don't think you're gonna get like, oh, here's some burritos from Chipotle. I think it's just as you said, it's just for advertising, and I think it's just gonna be more like, hey, buy our burritos. Okay, that's it.
When do you think Korean barbecue places are gonna do this?
Holy shit!
That's kind of they need to just sponsor
okay. So
team.
You know how New York Excelsior is like, and all the teams in the Overwatch League are doing like localization and finding stadiums.
Yeah.
Yo. Miss Korea becoming the official sponsor of New York Excelsior. They got like the little Miss Korea logo on their fucking sleeve and shit.
Hey man.
That's
an
Miss Korea. If someone from Miss Korea listens to this and then like a year down the road, I see it in a New York Excelsior jersey with a Miss Korea logo, I'm coming for your ass.
Put it on yours. Hey man, is that an exclusive?
Yeah. The Miss Korea X New York Excelsior jersey.
With Chipotle entering it, I think again it's very simplified. It's nothing too deep. People were probably already eating Chipotle by going to events because it's probably one of the cheaper things you can eat at events.
If you ever thought about it, there's like a lot of like events and concerts and stuff that you go to, and there's usually like a Chipotle because usually Chipotle likes to put their restaurants near like event places. Like the Prudential Center in New Jersey has like a Chipotle around the corner.
Yeah.
We're in fucking New York City. There's like 8 Chipotles. There's like a Chipotle right by Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
So I think they also have always done that. So I think for them to add their name to like all these events, so when you do go to like Barclays Center or you do go to like Madison Square Garden for your gaming events or something like that, like it's nearby already. So it's like, hey, that advertisement for Chipotle looked good. Oh wait, isn't there a Chipotle on 33rd Street? Yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, it's on Herald Square. And there you are.
Sweet Green. Sorry, that was kind of Jesus.
It just aggressively goes Sweet Green.
Sweet Green. Gotta fucking step it up in DC, bro. Gotta either sign the Wizards gaming for or District Gaming for
that's not
NBA
gonna happen.
Or
I can
the
see
Washington Justice.
I can see McDonald's.
No, we need Sweet Green. We need something local.
We have Sweet Green here.
All right, well, listen, motherfucker. It started local to DC. All you other motherfuckers, New York and LA,
isn't a reason why
everything.
This isn't a reason why you should say that DC is a better city than New York. So let's not do this.
I never said that.
Let's not do this. Let's be real. Hey, remember, guess what? Guess who played this past week? New York Excelsior versus Washington Justice. Guess who won 4-0? Just guess. It was New York Excelsior. Yeah, that's right.
You didn't let me guess, but anyway. Let's move on to the Rockets selling a majority of their stake of Clutch Gaming, which is mainly League of Legends. Sold it to the 76ers and Dignitas.
I don't know how I feel about that because I'm not too big into the League of Legends scene. But I also feel like they kind of did that because they're like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing with this.
I think that's how every esports related meeting starts when it comes to investing stuff. Yo, I don't know what we're actually selling, but let's just throw like 50 mil at it and see what happens.
Hey Tony, I don't like this shit. We put like 50 million into this shit. You want it? Yeah, sure, whatever. I feel like that's literally because I feel like the Rockets were just like, yeah, so we have like all these stakes in like this game, League of Legends, but I don't actually know what we're doing with it. Does anybody really want it?
So the weird thing about it going to who it went to. The weird thing about it, about who it went to, is it went to Dignitas, which if I'm not mistaken, the league team got relegated, or I think they couldn't before. I'm not gonna say they couldn't afford. They didn't have a successful buy-in into, like their franchise system. Mm-hmm. So the fact that it's being sold to them for essentially like the price that they bought. Well, no, I don't think league was 20 million, but it's just weird to see Dignitas like stepping back in, because I feel like this had to be a conversation for a while.
Yeah.
A while, like because Dig is an established org and they were in league before, so it's like the Rockets come in, it's like, let's buy a spot in League of Legends. It's gonna be fruitful for us. Like, let's do it.
Right.
And like you said, I feel like after a couple of years, they're probably like, we're not really seeing that much revenue, and we still don't know what this is or who we're marketing to. We know basketball. What the fuck is a League of Legends? Should we just like not do this? Now, they didn't get rid of all their shares.
What the fuck is a League of Legends?
It's probably what someone asked the day they had the meeting. But they didn't get rid of all their shares. They only got they're selling a majority of their stake to them. So they're still going to have money coming in.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be like, I honestly, I do believe it was an idea of like, we have no idea what we're doing with this. I feel like maybe we just wasted some money. Let's just kind of bounce on some of this shit. Let's bounce that shit like, whoa.
Yeah, I think someone went to Cheesecake and didn't enjoy their experience, and they got into a fight.
Yeah.
And someone in a Camry was like, you know what? I'm not coming here anymore.
Let's go to Disney.
They got rid of their cheesecake steaks.
Somebody's gonna get this reference to the song that we've been making this entire episode. I really hope so.
Let's close out with this Variety article. Real World Battlefield.
All right.
Did you see this?
Oh God.
All right. Let me brief you and the listeners in.
I'm gonna just. All right, you go, and then I'm gonna tell you.
All this is a fucking camping field trip. It's like a 3-day event. I think it's like 15 hours or 12 hours. Pretty much from crack of the sun coming up to the crack of the sun going down. It's real life BR. I'm hoping it's like paintballs or something, because I don't want to see people actually dying. It's fucking weird. But someone's buying a private island to essentially just make BR a real life thing. My thing is, why don't you just go gather your friends and be like, yo, well, you might not know 100 people. Well, not you, but people might not know 100 people. Be like, yo, let's go play paintball. And the thing is, like, there's a time frame.
Mm.
So it's like, yo, I can't be hit or killed or whatever, like, overnight. So you're essentially camping. But it's like, if you're going to do BR, just do like the movie and just make it no holds bar. Well, without actually killing people.
Okay, so here's the thing. This exists already. There are many airsoft fields all across the nation. As an avid airsoft player myself, there are many fields that do battle royale games. They use their own stock of guns. They say players show up at 8 a.m. and will hide guns, whatever, and you play a BR style game with airsoft guns. And you play, there's a winner, everyone goes home, winner, chicken dinner. You don't need a whole fucking private island to do this. I'm sorry, this is ridiculous and stupid. Just go to an airsoft field and play with your friends. Or there's many airsoft fields out there that you can find one. Even though it's New York City, you could take the fucking 45-minute drive out to Long Island and find an airsoft field that does a battle royale style game. Or you could drive down to fucking New Jersey. You could drive to Pennsylvania. You can drive anywhere in the East Coast. They're doing battle style games. California, the West Coast, you have Hollywood Sports Park. You have GamePod Combat Zone. Like, they're all over the place. You don't need an island.
Do you think the fact that it's centralized on an island, that's the appeal of like the real BR experience? Like, oh, this whole island is like, there's no limits. Like, I can just... No,
because I've been to military simulation events through Airsoft. Like, there's Third Coast, there's Milsim West, there's American Milsim, and all those things are just as realistic. It's 2 days. You play for 12 hours. There's medics rules. There's people getting down. You're fucking bandaging up some dude's arm in simulation that they just got shot in the fucking face.
Do you think this island is going to be the Firefly Festival?
I think if people are going to show up to this island, they're going to be like, so we spent all the money on the island.
Good luck.
Here's some Nerf guns. That's it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see it, but I wasn't familiar with a lot of stuff in the airsoft, but I just knew like this wasn't a completely original idea.
I got really heated just now for some reason.
I can tell, but like I could tell this wasn't an original idea. It was like yo, this shit is trendy right now. We should just buy up an island, and it's like, yo, you right. Remember that island that they try to do for the Fire Festival? I think it's on sale.
You should it's like the people who did this. Like, why didn't you just YouTube real life battle royale? You would have just got a bunch of maybe paintball videos and mostly airsoft videos of fields doing this over like a 12-hour day. And then guess what? The players don't have to fucking camp there. They can go home.
Yeah.
They get in their cars. They wipe up their boots. They go home.
I will say though, if this is successful and far as them purchasing the island and getting people to want to spend what it'll probably cost them probably like $3,000 just to pay for expenses to get to the island, whatever their flight and whatever. If they don't live stream this somehow, it's already a bust.
Yeah. If no one dies, then no, I'm just kidding.
Well, I won't say that, but if there's not body cams on people and Twitch stream and Mixer streams and all this other stuff, and people don't have access to it, like almost 24/7, it's a bust. This is essential like Survivor.
Or is it gonna be like fucking Mortal Kombat, where it's like you only get invited to the island, no one knows what goes down?
No, it won't sell.
Are they trying to sell it though?
100%. They just bought a private island. They're trying to make their money back. What's the best way to make your money back? Monetize everything.
Put it on Twitch.
Monetize.
Have Chipotle
everything. Sponsor
it.
The exclusivity thing of it will not work.
Yeah.
At least right now.
Yeah.
Because no one knows. They're not. It's mucky waters. Not sure how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
If it's successful, then you could put like, don't go to them. We
also,
have an exclusive island.
if you wanted it to be low key, you wouldn't like make it known that you fucking purchased a private island.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't low key or anything like that, no one would know about it, and people would actually be getting fucking murked on an island in the Caribbean somewhere. That's it.
Yeah. So, to close it out, you're not going to the private island to play Real World BR. You're just going to stick airsoft.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say, you're not going to Chipotle, huh? I mean, to Coachella. I don't know why.
No, I don't want to go where any place where showers are exploding.
No, I will not be going to this Real World Battle Royale.
Okay. So, I guess you're just going to use your $3,000 and go to Chipotle then.
Yep.
And Overwatch League tournament. Or venues.
Yes.
Okay. Well, on that note, guys, we are going to head out into the noisy city of New York because apparently they love making noise while we fucking record. On top of that, Wednesday, be on the lookout for our episode with Rob Leonix Lee that we did an interview with him at PAX East. And on Friday, we will be releasing our episode that we did with Hey D-Mart, David Martinez from Raw Fury. We have some game codes from David that we're going to be giving out. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to give those out just yet, but make sure you follow our Twitter at @TillGGDoIsPart.
Actually, you know what? Tell us good gaming stories.
Huh? Yeah.
You know what? If you guys tweet at the Till Good Game Do Us Part Twitter, just like, just some not fucked up, but just some funny stories about gaming and like your experience in gaming, hey, maybe you win a game code.
And if you don't do that, then we're probably just going to have a random giveaway.
That too.
But make sure you guys check that out. Again, Leonix episode will be this coming Wednesday, and Hey D-Mart will be on Friday. Best of luck with getting the giveaway codes. Again, you can find us at Till Good Game Do Us Part, Till GG Do Us Part on Twitter and on Facebook. And we love you. Thank you for listening.
I respect you as a person and individual.
And you loyal.
Bye, guys.